Hello everybody. Yesterday and the day before we have been talking about being proactive and beginning with the end in mind, which are the first two habits. Today we will discuss about how to put first things first, that is how to prioritize. Now how are these three connected? Let's have a quick look at that. If you are proactive, you will foresee things. If you begin with the end in mind, you know where you want to reach. So putting these two together, now we need to understand what is it that we need to do to make the right choice on what to put first, that is what to prioritize. Because if we prioritize the right things, it will take us on the right path. If we prioritize somewhere, mix it up, what is our real priority, then maybe your destination journey is going to get a bit delayed or may not happen either. So yesterday we spoke about what you call the effective leadership, effective management. So what is effective leadership? Effective leadership is deciding what those first things are, and effective management is putting those first things first. So do you get another difference for leadership and management? I hope so. The second thing is that yesterday and day before we have seen two habits which are kind of resemblance of the first creation. If you remember, in yesterday's session we spoke about the mental creation of vision and mission. So these two habits relate more to the first creation, and today what we are going to discuss, that is putting first things first, that is more related to the actual or the physical creation or the second creation, like we spoke yesterday. Now to be able to effectively do this, first we need to understand what are the types of entrepreneurs that are that can be classified into. We have four types of entrepreneurs. There's the four generations of entrepreneurs. The first generation, these generations by the way are not generations in terms of generation gap or anything like that. These are just categorizations. So the first generation entrepreneurs typically are characterized by to-do lists, checklists, notes. So basically countering in everything or all those activities which need their time, attention, energy and so on. The second generation entrepreneurs are those who are characterized by time scheduling. So calendars, appointments, meetings, scheduling and so on. So they are trying to prioritize their schedules or prioritize their activities in a more organized and planned manner. The third category or the third generation entrepreneurs, they are typically very different from these two, because they have realized that giving more than the required focus to time management. If you see both the generation entrepreneurs are focusing more on how to manage time efficiently, but these third generation entrepreneurs, they are of the opinion that we don't need to manage time efficiently, we need to manage our businesses efficiently. Time management is within the purview of effective business management and not vice versa. So that is the reason they feel that if we focus too much on time management, scheduling, writing down tasks, this and that, the spontaneity of things is lost somewhere in the bargain. And also we may ignore opportunities that need to be looked at in an out of the box manner or out of schedule manner. So they are of this opinion. Now coming to the last but not the least, the fourth generation entrepreneurs. These are those people who have evolved from these three generations, in the sense they have envisaged that just managing time or just managing tasks is not sufficient. You also need to look what your real priorities are, and your whole focus should be more on priorities. To understand these entrepreneurs better, we first need to understand the differentiation of urgent and important, and also how a combination of these is going to lead us where it is going to lead us. So let's begin. What is urgent and important? Typically these terms are used as synonyms almost. ये urgent भी है, important भी है. Yes, I agree, it is true to a certain extent. But when we are talking in the business context, or rather in terms of being effective, where an entrepreneur's focus lies, whether it lies on urgent things or whether it lies on important things, defines how soon he will reach his goals. Now what does that mean? Let's say urgent thing, what are urgent things? So in like crisis or some sort of a emergency. So when our approach is more urgent based, it is more time based. So you are in the moment, what is necessary, you are doing that. So you are diverting away slowly from your main goals and vision. Whereas important is something that forms part of your ultimate goal, or rather that is your ultimate goal, and that is the utmost important thing. Means yes, attending to urgent situations is important, but there is something much more important than that. So when you start analyzing in terms of how much of my time is going into urgent activities and how much is going into important activities, you will realize yourself that how you are moving away from your ultimate goal. So here we'll help you analyze what is urgent and important in the right perspective in business, so that you can make your choices to be able to reach your goals. I'll be sharing with you what we have done is we have made a this quadrant is from Stephen Covey's book, I'm sorry, but we have explained it in a different manner. And how? Let's have a quick look at that. I hope you are able to see my screen here. So if you see, we have segregated these activities into 4 quadrants, and we have used urgent and important as the basis for segregation. So the first quadrant is those activities which are urgent also and important also. What are those? Those are some crisis, pressing problems, or some project deadlines which are very critical and they have come to a breaking point. So those are the kind of activities which are urgent and important. Then there are activities which are in the second quadrant. These are activities which are not really urgent, but they are very important. Why? Because they are those activities which help you create a new opportunity, build up new customer relations, or plan ahead for your future events, or most importantly, foresee a challenge and address that with your planning. So this quadrant is the most important quadrant. Coming to the third quadrant. Third quadrant is those activities which are urgent but they are not important, like attending to administrative matters, attending to some meetings, attending to phone calls, emails, and so on and so forth. So these are things which are not really urgent, which are urgent but they are not really important. So you can kind of put them a little down in the priority schedule. Coming to the fourth and the last quadrant, which is these activities are neither urgent nor important. So they are the least priority activities. So if now let us understand how an effective entrepreneur would use this quadrant to be effective in his business. Okay. Say let's take an entrepreneur who has complete focus on urgent and important only. So you may say, what is wrong with that? It's absolutely the right way of doing things. But here you need to differentiate that if we are going to focus all our energies only on attending urgent and important matters, we are going away from quadrant 2, which is our ultimate goal. Do you get me? How this kind of habit, creeps in very stealthily. You never realize you have a good vision mission statement, yes, you are working towards it, and suddenly you start moving towards attending only urgent matters. That takes away almost your entire working day. Now, is that an effective thing to do? I don't think so. And I don't think so that effective people focus on the first quadrant. Effective people focus on the second quadrant. Like, say you have 12 to 14 hours of working, and out of that you can spend 30% of your time on quadrant 1. 40 to 45% of your time should go on quadrant 2, so that on a daily basis your vision and mission is completely in sight. It is never lost. So your goal is never lost. What happens is, in the bargain of attending urgent and important things, you lose the ultimate purpose of your business, and that definitely should not happen to any entrepreneur. Let's take a day where you are focusing 30% on urgent matters, 45% on quadrant 2, say about 20% on quadrant 3, and 5 or 10% only on quadrant 4. This kind of segregation of time based on this quadrant will help you to control all urgent matters, at the same time not lose focus on your important matters, and also attend to things which are second urgent, and also not totally do away with quadrant 4, right? So having said that, what we are trying to bring to the table is, now let us connect the 3 habits. If we connect being proactive, we are able to envisage. Then coming to the second habit, we are able to work with an end in mind. So again, we are not losing focus on our ultimate goal. Now these 2 habits, as I said, are mental creations. We are mentally doing this. Now when you put things first, you are bringing in all these things into putting first things first. And that is how your chart or your schedule gets laid out. Whether it is for a day, for a week, for a month, for years. And that is what will help you to be really, really effective. I hope I have been able to convey to you the importance of urgent, the relevance of urgent and important, and how that differentiation is going to take us one step further in being effective. Thank you.